man, welcome to the RocksMetalHour. Once again, we're going to be bringing in Buffy Beautiful, and we're going to be talking to her for a little bit and see what she's got going these days. She's got something for you guys, so just hang tight, and we'll give her a shot here and see what's happening. All right, here you go. Hey, you're around there, Buffy.
Yep, right here, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Oh, not too bad, just hanging loose a little bit.
Right on.
So, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, where did you all start all this in the music and the whole thing?
Well, I started back in the late 70s where I grew up, my hometown of Las Vegas.
Well, Las Vegas is a good place to start.
Oh, yeah. And I got a job there, started out as a runner, and I used to just kind of run bands back and forth from the airports to the hotels, and then I started like doing, just kind of stepping up the ladder until I got to working in a worldwide talent agency for several years.
And how did that talent agency go? What was that all? What was that all about? Was that just booking people around and crap like that?
Yeah, it really was not a metal gig. We did, more kind of the Riviera Hotel. I worked up and down the Las Vegas Strip at hotels for a long time. That's all I did all night long. Really? Yeah.
That's a pretty good gig there too, though, isn't it?
Oh, hell yeah. That's a lot of fun, especially in Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. I'd like to go to Vegas.
Oh, man. You got to do it once.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to get down there and do it once. That would be awesome.
It's crazy.
That's what everybody says, but I've never seen it.
Wow.
So that kind of bums me out a little bit. I've been around Vegas. I've been on each side of it, but I've never been into Vegas.
Wow. Yeah, go experience it once, man.
Yeah, and that's why everybody keeps going back.
You'll spend a week there one night, I guarantee it.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
So then what did you end up doing after the talent agency?
After the talent agency, I just kind of did my own kind of thing. I was promoting bands and just really not working too much in the biz, and then I just felt like getting back into it, so me and my friend / sister / partner Deanna hooked up, and we opened Brutiful Management and Promotions, and we found out through opening that business that the radio is such a great platform for what we were doing. Promotions-wise, it just sort of stepped it up quite a few notches, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So it made it a lot busier and got a lot more clients.
Yeah, and a lot more fun too.
Yeah, it is, and that's similar to what I'm doing over here. I guess I'm not really much of a promoter. I don't really get into booking everybody in these bars. I leave that to the guys that know the game. I try to stay away from the financial side of it all.
Right.
Because I don't want to get into all that. So that's the same thing that I did. I put everything in one pot. I put everybody in one pot. So they could find each other.
Right.
And then all the promoters and everything else kind of jump in the pot with it, and then they find them. That was kind of the plan. So when you were doing, what exactly did you end up doing when you were doing all the promoting and all that stuff? You were just basically, getting them out there to be heard and seen, and kind of the same thing?
Yeah, and we would help them book shows or send suggestions of clubs to them so they could hit them up and
things like, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. So that was in your general area. So how far did you end up expanding out?
Oh, that's a good question. It kind of never stops. It's always evolving, and I kind of think that's cool.
Yeah, and it does. It is always...
That's always the thing with music, is it's always evolving, man.
Yeah, and it really does.
Uh-huh.
So then you turned into, after you ended up doing that, you got together with the sisters and all the friends, and then you got your husband involved, did you not?
Yeah, when we were living in Vegas, we both worked for a printed magazine out there, Metal Storm, and I was doing a little bit of sales. He was actually a co-owner and a journalist, freelance writer there, so we brought him on board as a freelance writer on our forums and radio on the Bullshittin' with Bob show, and it's turned out very well.
Really? So
yeah, he's quite the character, and he doesn't do a typical interview, and they just love him for it.
Yeah, he's a musician too, isn't he?
Yeah, he had a band called Gutter Sludge that he started in Louisiana, and when we moved from Louisiana to Vegas after Katrina and Rita, he had restarted it in Vegas, and I actually played bass for him that year.
Really? So you do a little bit of that music work too, then?
Pardon me?
You do a little bit of that music work, then?
Yeah, I kind of dabble in a little bit of everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I never was afraid of a recording studio. Actually, my science partner in junior high school was Elvis's drummer's son. And they had a big house in Las Vegas, and the whole top floor of the house was a recording studio, which we played in quite frequently.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Totally awesome. So
yeah.
Are you guys still dabbling in that yet these days, or?
Well, we've recently removed back to Louisiana, and yes, it's already in the works.
No. I know how that goes.
Yeah.
You move back and you end up getting sucked right back in again.
Yeah.
Yeah, for something to do, you betcha. Yeah, same stuff over here.
Yeah.
I didn't really start all this for a long time. You know, I probably streamed tunes in multiple sites for 4 or 5 years before I started doing this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then and one person just came up and said, "Well, I want to do a video interview." And then to me it was like, "Well, how am I going to show a video interview?"
Right.
You know, I don't know how to really do any video stuff. Well, that started the whole ball, and and then everything ended up going to video.
It's great how when you're doing what you love, it just keeps evolving into something you love even more.
Yeah, it does. It's challenging.
Yes, it is, but I like to run to keep up with my life. I don't like it moving too slow.
No, this business is not slow, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
They keep you on your toes. There's always a twist every day.
Yeah, certainly is.
Yeah, there is. But you know what? You know, the main thing I think is to get to get some of these bands up and moving.
Well, that's the most important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. You know, because the way the industry is today and everything, it's tough, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we used to do it back in the 80s where you'd sit and draw up a flyer and go Xerox them out and put them on car windshields and so on.
Yeah, they had wooden telephone poles back then.
Oh, yeah, and there was actually payphones near some of them.
Yeah, there was, so you could...
Try and find a payphone sometimes.
Yeah, you know, and now they made them all, you know, they're all steel, so the tape don't stick very long.
Well, I don't know. They seem to have disappeared because everybody has a cell phone.
Yeah, that's true.
It's peculiar.
Yeah, it is. You know, and then that's the other thing too that kind of puzzles me a little bit. The internet is so big, but yet it's so difficult to get the messages out through the internet.
Yes, it is. Unless again, you do what you love, and some people just love being on that computer.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, for, you know, massive hours per day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, trying to keep up, you know.
I try to avoid it, but I always end up spending massive hours a day.
Yeah, me too. From sun up till sundown.
Yeah.
And then past that into the wee early mornings.
Yeah. But I tell you, the respect that you earn along the way for doing such a thing is just phenomenal, the feeling it gives you.
Yeah, it does. You know, and, you know, I think, you know, I really like to see them when they come out and they don't really have anything. They got like 20 views on YouTube, you know. And then they turn around and within 6 months they've got 1 million.
Yeah.
You know, and the next thing you know, you're not hearing from them anymore. You know,
right.
And then you're wondering why, but then you've got to realize their fan base has built up so high that when you try to contact them, you're just one contact in 1 million.
Well, yeah, I mean, you always have to take that whole how many messages are they receiving, the ratio versus friends there.
Yeah.
Or likes, excuse me. And it sometimes is pretty high.
Yeah. But, you know, it's then you know that something's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then, you know, then once in a while they'll come and ring your bell, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and even then you might get lost in all the, you know, the tweets or the Facebook posts or the inboxes or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that's, you know, that's really the funnest thing, you know, that I kind of, you know, that's one of the parts that I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
You know, getting them out there. And that's kind of why, you know, I'm going around and trying to, you know, kind of hook all of us together if we can. You know,
well, on our own we may fail. Together we're unstoppable.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, the more we get, the bigger of a force it becomes. You know,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it does. You know, because then, you know, it's just adding two different networks together is kind of what it does. You know, it links
3 or 4.
Yeah, and then 5 and 6, and it goes down the line.
Right.
You know, and I think the best part is finding the ones that are here for the music.
Right.
You know, because there are some other stations out there that aren't so much for the music.
Oh yeah.
You know, so they don't want to, you know, they don't want to work with you. They don't really want you around, you know, because it's their station.
Right.
You know, so I've ran into quite a bit of that. You know.
Well, you know, the world's a vicious place, man.
It is, but you know, and in all, you know, what we do, if it wasn't for the bands, we wouldn't have much to do.
Right. But the friends that we earn along the way is so rewarding. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. going for my my orange juice.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like freezing up here right now.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's like, I don't know, -3 or something now, but it's supposed to get like -31 or something.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's cold.
Yeah, that is cold. It hasn't been that cold this year.
Wow.
So this is going to be like the first night, so, you know.
So how's the snow skiing there?
No, I ain't leaving. I ain't going nowhere.
You ain't leaving, huh?
I'm sitting right here. I'm going to let it go right over, man. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'll stay in here where it's warm. Nothing works out there when it gets that cold.
I know, huh?
Yeah, everything's breaking if you touch it, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't live up there. The idea of having to shovel my car out before I even get in to start it is, you know, I'm from the desert. I don't relate to that.
Yeah, well, you know, I should probably get down there where I won't have to relate with this because, you know, it's just another aggravation.
Yeah.
You know, it can be. But then, you know, those are the days that you don't have to go to work.
Oh.
You know, if you work outside of the house, those are the days you don't have to go because you can't get there.
Right.
You know, it's too cold. My car won't start.
I've heard they got little heaters for the cars to plug in so they keep warm at night.
Yeah, they do. Well, it depends on whether or not you use one.
Well, okay.
It depends if you want the next day off or not.
That's pretty darn cold, though.
Yeah, that's darn cold. So what kind of things are you guys getting into as far as, Bob's show?
Oh, doing tons of interviews there. It's just been so well received with Bobby.
And he's got,
he's such a great guy and a character on top of it.
So how did he, how many interviews has he actually been getting into? When did all this start, and the whole thing, the whole story behind the whole thing?
We started on August 7th, 2012, believe it or not. And it was just kind of dumb luck how we fell into it. And we all just love it. And it's just, we're having so much fun with it that, we don't see ourselves stopping at this point. We're just doing so much for everybody out there. And it's just such a good feeling. We all love it so much.
Awesome. So
just the three of us that do it, really. We have a couple of other DJs that we love, and they work very hard. But, me and Deanna, we pull the all-nighters. And
yeah, I've seen that. She's a poster.
Oh, yeah.
She's a mega poster.
I thought I was fast. I gave up.
Yeah, she's just boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
I'm always reading all her stuff that's flying around.
Well, she's as fast as me, but she has the command of the Facebook more than I do.
Oh, does she?
Oh, yeah. She knows all the little tricks there, and I still don't.
Yeah, I don't really know them either. There's so much stuff flying through here that I'm just able to hit the share button.
Right.
They throw it, and I pitch it.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, if I get a moment, I'll write something up quick. And wheel something out there for someone. But the thing that gets me nowadays is when you get so many bands involved. Who do you work with? Who are you going to pick? Because it's a random pick, because you got like 200 bands there, and they all need promotion, and you're trying to keep up with all of it.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
It is.
So then every now and then you just got to think, well, who needs it? Oh, this band needs it. So boom, you throw out one on there, and
right. It's it's like a revolving door.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And like, let's say you're getting into Cataclysm, for 1 month, and then all of a sudden here's this new Netherion CD from Syria, and you check that out, and it's like there's always something new. It's always evolving, so you just kind of roll with the punches on that.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I do. I try to roll with the punches, and then I try to keep everybody else happy too.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work.
No.
I mean, you can't please all the people all the time, but
no.
God damn it, I give it my best shot.
Yeah, I do too. Because it's very time consuming. And you can sit here and go blind. But it does pay off in the long run, though.
It does.
It seems to work for everybody.
Yeah,
which is really a good thing. So you guys are actually doing a lot of the interviews over there. Like how many are you actually pulling a month?
Well, Bobby does between 2 and 4 a week.
Awesome.
So if he's pulling, let's just say 2 1 week, 3 the other, and 4 the next 2 weeks of the month, that's, 5 and 8, 13, I guess, a month.
That ain't bad at all. And then he stores all this stuff too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he actually posts it up to YouTube.
Awesome.
So that, you know, people can go listen to it. We also post it on the forums at Brutiful, and believe it or not, we get more hits on the forums than we do on the YouTube.
Really? Do you really?
Yep. Hundreds more.
Really? I never thought about that.
I didn't think it would work that way at all, but, you know, I like being proved wrong. It's always good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, too. When I started, I figured I'd do Facebook, but Facebook, for me, doesn't do a lot. You know, but the Twitter just never stops.
Gotcha.
You know, so I don't know why, you know, you know, some people have really good success on one site and other people have good success on other sites, and I just don't understand how that rolls.
Well, we're all individuals and we all think a little bit different, so what appeals to one might not appeal to another, and then that's how you get a fan base, you know?
Yeah, you know, it depends on where the fan base.
It's like Chevy versus Ford, I mean.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, so, you know, and I've tried, you know, whipping up the Facebook, and everything's up in the Twitter for the Facebook, but hardly very few ever come down to the Facebook because they're all up in the Twitter.
Wow.
You know, so, you know, and then I kind of go around and I look at other people and they're like, wow, you know, they've got, you know, 2,000, 3,000 things going on down here in Facebook, you know. And then I'm thinking, well, all mine's in Twitter. Well, you know, well, they don't even have a Twitter.
Yeah, I don't have a Twitter.
Right. And, you know, if I didn't have a Twitter, there wouldn't be this show, you know.
I see.
You know, for me. Because that's where it came from. It just started one day and it just snowballed. You know, but then I did have some help, though, from some larger artists that actually piled in there in the beginning.
Well, that's always a plus.
Yeah, they piled in the beginning and just sat there.
That's cool.
You know, so then everybody comes in and sees them and then they just start adding, you know.
Right.
You know, but it ended up being, you know, mostly bands. It was all bands and band-related people. There's not a whole lot of fans.
Well, yeah. I think, though, that everybody, you know, the bands are also the biggest fans.
I think they are. You know,
and that, you know, we didn't expect that to happen, you know, when we were younger and getting into metal, but ultimately that's how it rolled.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. You know, and then they all come in and they watch each other here and there and, you know, find out who's doing the new thing and, you know, trying to keep up. And I think they do that so they can come in, and sometimes I think they grasp ideas out of it for new music.
Oh, sure.
You know, and I think when they're in a hole, they'll come in and they'll sit and they'll watch, you know, an hour of it, and then they'll say, that's pretty cool. And then, boom, they're off doing it, you know?
Inspiration's an awesome thing.
Yeah, and I think that's what happens is some of these bands inspire each other, you know, which I think is just fantastic. And I know it's happened because I've heard some of the creations that's come out of it. It's like, oh, wow, I've heard that. Oh, wait, I know where they got that. You know? Yeah, so that works out pretty good.
So soon, we're going to be booking our second annual Brutiful Metal Fest.
Awesome.
And the last one was 3 days. We had 17 bands. Boy, what a good time.
Really? And where did you guys hold that?
We actually held that in a small bar out in Daleville, Alabama, a small town. We felt that we needed to bring them a little bit of metal.
Really? And they went for it, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that might be something that we could, you know, maybe ship a few bands in on the pile.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah. That would be awesome.
This year we're having it in Louisiana. I've not yet confirmed a venue, but we're on that right now, and then we'll see what happens.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan. Now you guys know some other bookers too, don't you? For some of these bands?
Yeah, we actually have a lot of friends in that realm.
And the booking.
It's so hard to do.
Yeah, it really is. But, for them, that's what they do.
Yeah.
And instead of us, looking for the next post, they're out there looking for the next nightclub.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't know how some of these guys do it because they got to work the dates out and everything, to keep everything in line.
Oh, yeah. It takes a lot of hard work and planning.
Yeah, it does.
Advanced work, actually.
Yeah, it is. And you got to do it a while.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess, maybe people think it's easy to just go on tour, but you have to have it all in line.
Yeah, so it works out.
Yeah, and then, with the price of gas, I mean, sheesh.
Yeah, exactly. You want to be getting the most hits you can get on the way through.
Yeah.
Near each other.
Yeah.
The closer, the better.
Yeah, and that don't happen all the time.
No, not. You get a lot of target shooting going on.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, when I was touring with Rush, we kind of did that, and somebody referred to it as dartboard touring. Yeah. Kind of kick out of it, but ain't that the truth?
It is. It is. Dartboard touring is what it is. Trying to, and I see that happening a lot in the upper states especially. Because they just can't find the places to play. I mean, there's...
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of land up there,
Well, there is, but it's also closed circuit because we have our own circuits up here, a music circuit that, one person basically runs all these bands through all these bars on a regular schedule.
Oh, yeah, the little bar tour thing.
Yeah, and it stays...
all over, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 3 states,
Yeah.
that he covers, and he keeps it all functioning and all the bars full. So it's hard for these guys to actually come out of another state and come up. Because, they've got to stay... If they get into the loop with this guy, then they've got to stay with the guy.
Wow.
For at least a loop or two.
Right.
And they really don't want to come up here and stay here for, a month and a half, 2 months, just to hit all these bars,
Yeah.
A lot of them don't, and I don't really think there's a whole lot of finances behind it either.
Well, you never know, man.
Yeah, I don't think they're paying them a whole lot to do these runs. I know that they put them on trial when they first start out, and then they don't get as much money in the beginning.
Right. Therein is the metal lifestyle.
Yeah. So, now things up here, there's been about 3 or 4 bars that have opened up in the last couple of years that don't deal with the guy. They just want everything from outside. And that's fantastic.
Wow.
So now, we can run bands, up north and, through the states and up through Minnesota and over to North Dakota and back down again.
Right.
Because these bars, that's what they're running on, is they're running on actual bookers, not just from the state. They want people, they want new talent.
Oh, yeah.
They want the new talent coming in, and I think that's fantastic that they're doing things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, because it can get really boring. It's the town that I live in up here, you can go see the same band 2 times a month.
That's kind of cool.
Well, not really, because it's been that way for 12 years. So, you go down to this one bar down here, and they've only got a selection of maybe 3 bands that they use, and they've been down there for at least 5 years.
Ah.
So it gets kind of, how many times do you need to see the band? I mean, it's great to see the band, every now and again, but, when they're always playing at the same place all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't leave much for entertainment. I've seen all the bands that's ever come down to this place. Like I said, there's only like 3 of them.
That could just be, the fatal mistake of oversaturation.
Well, that's what it is. I don't think he cares. He just books it with whoever calls him.
And the bands really shouldn't fall for that.
No, they don't, but a lot of them like it because they still get paid the same off the bar.
Right.
And of course the bar has its own crowd, so it's always full regardless who plays. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's a smaller town.
Yeah.
So I don't know, the people just don't seem to get tired of it. I don't know. I do, but then again, none of them are metal either.
Okay.
You know, they say that, you know, they just don't go into that down there or anywhere around here. You know, I got to drive about 80 miles to find a metal band.
What is it? That popular music?
Well, country to country.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's popular music right now.
Yeah. Country to country to country, and you can go up, you know, up into the main town up here, and you can get some other bands too that do a lot of cover work, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all doing cover work, put it that way. Most of them all are doing cover work. But there isn't anything like there used to be.
No.
You know, around here. So, no, not at all. So, you know, I kind of turned to the net for the entertainment.
Well, of course.
And there you go.
I think we're all plugged into it for that reason.
Yeah. You know, now I can find the entertainment that I like to watch.
I hear you.
You know, and it's actually more interesting because you get to all the insides and, you know, you get to see the new vids coming up. You get to watch them, you know, transpire, you know.
Right.
Where you don't really get to see all that in a bar.
No, yeah, unfortunately that's true. And that's fun stuff, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's very fun stuff.
I like doing it.
Yeah, I do too.
I wish I was a little bit younger. Well, then again, I probably shouldn't say that either because I lived to be this long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go back to being younger again. There were some pretty wild times.
Oh, man.
You know, I went through the 70s and the 80s too, you know, so...
Oh.
Yeah.
That was crazy times, man.
Yeah, they don't make times like that anymore.
No. No.
Everything's crazy, you know. It's far, you know, things... I think that, you know, a lot of it is... It's just changed.
Well, that's that evolution thing.
You know, I'm not very good at evolution things, man.
Well, a lot of people aren't. I try and welcome it as best as I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. Because everything does change, you know. I just kind of go with the flow of it all.
Yeah.
But still, you know, you know, it would be nice to see at least some of the things that we used to do back in the early days happen.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you know, that I really love the big outdoor venues and all that stuff.
I know. Big shows.
Yeah, the big ones, the big ones. You know, camping and.
Oh yeah, we used to camp out just to get tickets.
Yeah, camp out to get tickets and no cops.
Yeah, that was the best part.
So how about you know, when you guys are, you know, how far do you think you're gonna, you know, run the show? I mean, you know, what would you like to see it do?
That's hard to say.
You know, how far would you like to see it, you know, build up into, as far as that goes? You know, I get
We'd like actually to see it achieve on a professional level where we've, you know, got to hire departments and start paying taxes and,
ouch.
you know.
That hurts. The tax part hurts.
Well, yeah, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, but, you know, then there's always, you know, then there's going to be an income.
Exactly.
You know, so that usually, you know, the only thing I thought about that on income, because, you know, I still to this day have never taken a dime for anything, you know.
Well, we haven't either.
But, you know, we can have a merch store.
Well, we could. Well, see, but we also manage bands.
Yeah. There you go. Well, you know, there's a lot of these bands that are out here that are unsigned.
Most of them are, and they prefer to stay that way.
Yeah, they do.
You know? I mean, sharky out there.
Yeah, it is very sharky out there. Especially in today.
Yeah.
You know, as tight as the economy and everything is, they're really digging in.
Yeah.
You know, and I really don't think that those guys are worth that.
Huh.
You know, I mean, they're worth something, right?
Right.
You know, but I mean, it's got to be fair.
Well, always. That's the first rule. Fair, honest,
Yeah.
and clean.
Right. And
So as long as you have those guidelines, you know, I think anything you do is going to be all right.
yeah, exactly. You know, because I've heard, you know, I've heard some horror stories going on where, you know, one promoter meets another promoter and then he helps them out and gets them a show and then he disappears.
Ah.
You know, and then the band doesn't get paid and nobody got paid, but the guy who did the promoting got paid.
Right.
You know, but nobody else did.
Yeah.
You know,
You know, that has happened often.
yeah. So it's a tricky thing, and that can be devastating when you're out on the road.
Well, I've had it happen to me while we were on the road, and it is, and it can be, and it's a pisser, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think a lot of it was I got pissed off about how people do treat the bands, being that I had been in one myself. And I said, I can do a better job.
Yeah.
So that's what we aim to do. We don't know. We just out there doing our best and learning as we go as well.
Awesome. Awesome. And
you know, when you quit learning, you might as well just jump in your grave.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, you got to stay focused on what you're doing, you know. Stay focused and stay energized. Energized is probably the main word.
Yeah.
Yeah, staying focused and energized.
Once you think you know it all,
then you're done.
Yeah.
Yep, and that rule fits for a lot of things.
Yeah, it fits for life, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, I've met quite a few people in a lot of the bands that I've been in that, you know, are similar to that.
We had a saying back in the 80s, just when you read the book of life, somebody writes a new chapter.
Yeah, they do. And you know, I've always used music for that. You know, I've used a lot of the musical bands for that. You know, back in the 70s and 80s like that, you know, just as when you think that you're getting up to par, somebody like Eddie Van Halen comes out of the woodwork.
Right.
You know, and then, you know, that goes for a lot of, you know, musicians. I mean, there's so many of them out there nowadays that, you know, it seems like a huge competition between bands as well. You know, from what I've seen rivalries between bands before, you know, and I don't understand that either because it's an open market, you know.
Right.
But
right. I don't know what creates that either.
No, I don't know either. You know, I mean, I think it's you know, a lot. I see a lot of the younger bands are more that way.
Huh.
You know, than like the older bands that's been around for decades. Now these guys are wide open.
Well, we mainly cater to, you know, heavy metal.
Yeah.
And metal ain't for youngsters anymore.
No, it doesn't seem to be.
So we really don't have that young of a crowd that we work with.
And that's a good thing.
Well, yes, it is.
Yeah, it does stop a lot of it.
And, you know, sure, there's young ones out there that you know, it's just the evolution thing. But for the most part, you know, you know, you look at a metal band and they're not in their teens anymore when they start. No,
they're not. You know, not unless they got a pretty good run at it from the beginning.
Right.
You know, which you don't see too much of that happening.
No.
You know.
Not at all.
You know, and I think there is a difference, you know, and I do agree with, you know, a lot of the metal bands seem to be more open. You know, and I don't understand that theory either. You know, but it seems like they seem to be more open for, you know, like, you know, typical interaction.
Oh, yeah.
You know, more so than you know, any other kind of music genre that there is. Genre, whatever you want to put it. I'm not a real fan on that either.
Well, in metal, I guess the more brutal they look, the sweeter they are.
Yeah, you know, I think that's probably a lot of truth to that.
I'm sure of it.
You know, I think that, you know, they're just more, you know, they're just there more, you know. I mean, they're there to work with you more. You know, I've noticed that too over, you know, the last few years. You know.
It's amazing, and everybody loves to work together, and you know, there's a lot of familyhood out there.
Yeah, there is. You'd be surprised.
Oh, I am. I love it.
Yeah, I've seen 3 bands talking on Facebook the other day.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't even know that they knew each other, but they knew each other very well.
Wow.
You know, and now they're hooking up on a venue together. They ended up all on the same ticket.
That's always cool when all your buddies are playing with you.
Yeah, they were all excited. They're like, wow, how did you end up on a ticket? I don't know. I haven't looked. You know, wow, that's great. You know, it's been a long time since we all played together. Yeah, it has been. This is going to be great. You know, and I thought it was kind of nice. It was like, you know, 3:30 in the morning when I was reading this, and Facebook was kind of quiet, you know.
Oh.
You know, and it was, yeah, it was something to see. It's like, wow, that's interesting. You know, that's kind of neat that happened to them.
Huh.
You know, so they finally get together, and they were saying, heck, it's been like, what, 6 years or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's surprising how close that they are.
Networking is the way of the future.
Well, yeah, networking is the way of doing things, you know, these days. A lot of the larger promotion companies aren't getting it. You know,
well, everybody's trying to find their sea legs, so to speak, still in this technological world of music.
Yeah, they are, but you know, they're not. You know, they're not really pushing. You know, like you sign up with a label and you do the album and you put it out, and then you don't see anything being posted anywhere.
Well, record labels, you know, quite frequently aren't like they were back in the 80s. They just can't support that. No,
they've got too many other clients. You know, I think that's kind of what I'm thinking is, you know, you wrap up with a large label, they've got so many clients, that means you're going to get less promotion.
Oh, I don't know about that. I was just saying a lot of them are probably not large record labels, and they don't have the, you know, the cash that like Warner Brothers would have to just send you on tour with 25 truckloads of gear and a pyro guy. And,
yeah.
You know, I mean, that just don't happen anymore.
No, everybody's kind of got to have their own stuff.
Right.
You know, and I've noticed a lot of that too. A lot of these guys are just doing it on their own.
Yeah, and they love it.
Mm-hmm. You know, living in a van with your friends for a month.
Eating ramen and probably having the best time of their life.
Yep, enjoying the scenery and, jumping from bar to bar to bar. I see that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Then I see the pictures from the breakdowns, the tires falling off, or, you know, or they're all loading up the trailer on top of the van and trying to strap it on. Yeah, things like that. So, you know, you can see where they're, you know, they have their ups and their downs, you know, so it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know, so, and, you know, to be honest with you, that's the way that I did things in the day, too. You know, we had to transport everything.
Oh, yeah. You gotta.
Yeah. You know, I mean, with some of the venues that are out here these days, you know, they have all the equipment in them, you know. I know most
which is very cool.
Yeah, most of them up here do, so all you really need to do is bring your guitar and your pedal and a few chords and you're in.
We used to have crazy desert parties with bands, you know, numerous bands, in some crazy places where you'd have to hike in the desert and hang on to this cable and sort of rappel down, you know, 100 feet, and then you hike across the desert some more, and there'd be 10 bands out in the middle of the desert. And how they got their gear there is beyond me.
The generators.
They made it happen, you know.
Yeah, the generators and the whole thing.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah, and those are the nice ones. You know, those are the ones I like to. Those are the ones I like to go see.
Yeah, those were a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know, and they
do that no more.
They still do them from time to time, but they don't do them as much as they used to.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to see that come back a little more.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's kind of like, you know, what me and you are doing is, you know, if we can get all these bands together like that, you know, we can do things like that.
I agree, 100%.
You know, and put things like that up. I mean, I don't see why not.
Because, you know, we may have several bands, but when you give them a date, only, you know, one or a couple is going to be able to go.
Right.
So then you network with your friend who knows some bands you don't know, try and get that same date. You know, before you know it, you got a little fest day going on.
You betcha. You know, and that makes it, that just expands everything more.
Yes.
You know, and that's kind of what I like to see.
I think there's a lot of it going on.
Yeah, I think there is.
It's positive. You know, it benefits everybody, and it's nice to see.
Yeah, it is. It is, and that's the great thing. That's why I'm glad that I ran into you, and actually Brian brought me in here.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's the one who tripped me over here and says, hey, why don't you come check this out?
Wow.
And I said, okay, I'll do that. And I dropped in with him, and then I thought, wow, this is really cool. You know, I thought it was a good setup, a good system. I thought the show was great. And I said, yeah, this is really, really, really cool.
And how long have you been doing it now?
This here show?
Uh-huh.
This show, the first year was only just music. You know, there wasn't anything else to it. There was just music to it. I didn't do anything. And then New Year's Eve, 2011, I fired up the video on it.
Nice.
And then ran it till 13 now. It's been going. You know, and that's all video. Yeah, that's all the video, because, you know, I've had some people say, hey, you know, MTV is really dropping the ball. That's what I've heard. You know, for the musicians.
Well, MTV, the M doesn't even stand for music anymore.
Right, pretty much, you know, and they said there isn't.
You see shows like Jersey Snore all night long.
Yeah, you know, and that's what, you know, some of the people have said, you know, and they said we need something like that. You know,
yeah.
But we need something, you know, something that does it in the net and out of the net.
Right.
You know, and we need something that, you know, you can watch in more than just one place. You know,
yeah.
And so I got
everything needs to be to go or on the go.
Yeah, so I started working with HTMLs.
Ah.
So that's what I did. So I started building pages all over the net, and I started dropping the HTMLs in them off the main server. So now you can watch the show on like 10 different sites at the same time.
That's cool.
Yeah, so, you know, it's being broadcasted in 10 different sites. You know,
very cool.
Yeah, you know, and it seems to be working out okay. I haven't got any complaints on it yet. It seems to be all right.
Nice.
You know, I was wondering how long this server's going to hang on.
You kind of syndicated yourself.
Yeah, it expanded, and also there's you know, you can actually come in and grab a link too, and you can drop it right in any site of yours that runs in HTML.
Cool.
You know, so you can come into the room and you can grab the link and you can go back to your page and you can drop it on there, and then when I fire up the show on Sundays, you can actually broadcast it right there.
Right.
You know, so it's shareable.
That's very cool.
You know, and like, you know, if anybody wants to come grab that link and put it on their site, I give them the okay to. It's okay for anyone to. I don't care who you are. You know, because it's not about the show. You know, you're not gonna affect me at all.
Right.
You know, it's for the promotion, and so you can see the bands that are out there that have come to the site. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not infringements by any means, because all the bands are behind it. They've all okayed this whole thing. So, you know, that's where, you know, I don't care what people do with my particular show. They can do whatever they want with it. They can put it anywhere they want.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm wide open for anybody to come in and do anything, because it really, you know, I'm the one who founded the show and put it together and built it, but it's not my show. You know, it really isn't my show.
You know, the Grateful Dead never minded. They were like, they didn't care if, you know, people brought these video cameras or recording devices or anything like that. And, you know, some of these bootleg Dead albums were very well known. But doing something like that never damaged them.
No, that's only free promotion.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way I kind of look at it too. You know,
Yeah.
but you know, then again, you go look at you know, I probably shouldn't really say his name, but I know one individual out there he's not into metal, but he refuses to have anything like that in any of his concerts. But then you come into the net here, you can't find much on him at all.
Wow.
And he's huge.
Well, maybe he prefers to keep a low profile.
Well, he can't.
Well, he's trying his best, maybe.
No, he'll never do it. He's already national. He's
Wow.
He's one of the superstars that we have out there. But still, to this day, he is still not allowing any videos or anything of any sort in there. He doesn't even allow any videos on YouTube.
Wow.
You know, so it's like he's not even in the net. He said his exact thing was, I never had the net when I was a kid, and I don't have it now.
Wow.
You know, so none of his music is here. But then again, he doesn't need it anyway.
Well,
He's already established far beyond needing really anything.
right.
You know, so I guess, you know, I guess it's your own decision when you're that big.
Sure.
Yeah, you know.
I think, you know, it'd be your own decision nonetheless.
Yeah, pretty much. But, you know, you kind of need that nowadays, I would think, in order to establish yourself. You know, you need about everything you can get.
It's hard to say. You know, what works for some doesn't work for others.
Yeah, that's true.
You just kind of got to roll with it.
Yeah.
But, you know, you find what you like, and that'll help you, you know, get your tool to get your, you know, your skill across. And
Yes, it works some ways, and some ways it doesn't. Or doesn't need to, some ways. You know, and I think that might be a lot with a lot of them, is they've got other outlets that are creating what they need. So the internet isn't really part of it.
right.
You know, because they're already making it on the other side of it all.
Yeah.
You know, and they're the lucky ones.
Yeah, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the lucky ones today. But, you know, I think that has a lot to do with, you know, the managements they have and the whole bit, you know. The people they know.
Sure.
Because
there's a whole team of people there.
Yeah.
That those things happen, you know?
Yeah, if they got a good backing behind them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who knows the game real well.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that they've really got to have.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I wished all these bands that we run into had that.
Oh, yeah. We try to be that.
Yeah, we try to be that. You know, we try to create that.
Uh-huh.
You know, and that's the great thing about it.
Sure.
You know, so for all those bands that are out there that are working with, you know, the both of us, I think it's actually a good thing. Now we can just keep expanding on from here.
Exactly.
You know, and see if we can actually get something to where a band can drop in and they've got all their needs right there.
Yep.
You know,
that's the thing right there.
Yep, that's it. You know, and that's what my intentional. Actually, that wasn't my intention in the beginning. You know, my intention in the beginning was just play a few videos because I had spare time.
I kind of think that's how it started with us. Oh, we'll just spin a few tunes. We got some spare time.
Yeah, that's kind of how it started because, you know, I had a very close friend on the net too in another country, you know. So we would sit here and we'd get a room and then we'd go ahead and start spinning tunes and start, you know, people start coming in, you know.
Yeah.
And that's all we were doing, and I just had spare time.
Right.
And then it just kind of evolved into what it is today, which is, I still don't know, you know, how it actually got there.
Right.
All I know is it just never stopped.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and it's not stopping now.
No, it's actually, you know, it's continues to swing all, you know, every week. It's
Isn't the ride fun though?
Yeah, the ride is fun. You know.
I love it.
Yeah, the ride is fun. You know, it still gives me something to do because I'm older, you know.
Yeah, me too.
You know, instead of going out, you know, jumping bar to bar to bar every day, I don't know if I could do that much anymore, but...
I was just talking about that with my husband tonight, and I could not carry on and do that like I used to do.
No, I don't
I wouldn't want to.
You know, I guess if it was something that was really working really well and easily, then I could probably do it. You know, I guess if it was something that I really enjoyed to do.
Right.
You know, but I mean, as far as just, you know, every weekend, you know, like the old days, every weekend, man, we're all excited on Thursday because we know we're leaving house on Friday.
Oh, yeah, to party.
Yeah, we might be home by Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just...
And it usually was Monday morning just before work. You go.
Yeah. 10 minutes before work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or showing up in the parking lot wearing Friday's clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, you look awake today, they say.
Yep. No, I just don't feel... I don't feel well, man.
I ain't been to sleep yet.
You know, yeah, those were the days, you know, and, you know, a lot of these guys are doing that.
Hats off to them, and that's a fun time.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I just wish I knew where all that energy went.
I know, right?
You know. Hey, but I got a comfortable chair, you know. Got a comfortable chair and several PC screens, and yeah, life is good.
Life is good.
Yeah. Now if they would just send more videos of what happened that weekend.
Yeah.
And some do.
Yeah.
You know, there's some of the guys out there that are recording a lot of their, you know, adventures as they go along.
And some of them are so creative with that.
Yeah. and they are. Those are things that people really like to see. There's a lot of people that'd rather watch that than the music.
I'm one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a few bands that actually do that quite often. They do it all the time, but you know, they've got libraries and files and YouTube of this stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, you can go in there and watch for hours some of the stuff they did on their tour, and you know, it's all behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, and that's the best part of it.
Yeah, because then you get to actually see what it is. It's not all you know, peaches and roses out there.
Oh no.
You know, there's a lot of work that goes behind all that.
Right.
You know, all the setup and everything, and a lot of these guys do it themselves.
Yeah, they do.
You know, and they're bringing the whole systems in and everything, and they're wiring everything, and they're, you know, and you know, just the drag of the road on you on top of doing that every other day. You know, or
it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I toured with Rush back in the day, and you know, we'd truck onto a town and get there and start setting up. And the rigger does his thing, hanging up all the lights, and you know, it takes all day long to set up. And
yeah,
by the time the band gets going, you're hungry as hell.
Yeah.
So you go eat, relax for a few, then the band's done, and it's time to load it all back up and head to the next city.
Yeah.
Takes you hours to tear it down, so by the time the sun comes up, you're loading the last thing in, and
off you go.
Yep.
Yeah. I tried to stay away from that for, you know, that setup stuff after a while.
Yeah.
You know, it got to the point where, you know, the venues, well, you can come in at 6, and, you know, you can start playing by 8. You know, and that sometimes wasn't enough time.
Right.
You know, so, you know, you and the band members are in there, and of course, in my predicament, I was the only one who knew the wiring. You know,
wow.
You know, so then I've got to go in there and set the whole complete PA system. This is up before they even had any PAs in the bars. You had to bring your own.
Right.
You know, and then by the time it's 5 to 8, I'm about worn out.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's, you know, now we got a show to do.
Yeah, and you play that show till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yep, and then you tear it all. They help tear it down pretty well, but they won't set it up.
Right.
You know, and that's as I got older, it got really difficult to put out a good show. You know, because my ass is dragging by the time the freaking lights came on.
Right.
You know. So, you know, and that's kind of, you know, a few of the situations I went through where I just kind of just walked away from it. You know, said, if you guys can't be a little bit more, you know, we've been in the band for 15 years and you still don't know how to wire a freaking PA system.
Wow.
You know, it's like, come on, guys, you know.
Huh.
So it's just one of those things that they just didn't want to do it.
Right.
You know, so nowadays, then I feel like I got ripped off because nowadays you can go to the bar and all you got to do is plug in your guitar, you know.
Yeah, what's with that?
You know, you bring your pedal in and set it down, plug it in, and put your wires together, and you walk off.
Trump
and go
brings his favorite cymbals, his snare, and some custom pedals.
Yeah, and usually all that's in a rack mount. Now, we didn't even have rack mounts back then.
I know, right?
Yeah, so they just bring the rack mount and they set it in there, and they just set it up. It takes them like 15 minutes, and he's done. You know, and then they're all sitting back there smiling, you know, because they don't have any setup time.
Yeah.
You know, and here I'm still thinking, geez, it's hard to go out and set all that equipment up, and, you know, it's really not.
Yeah. Them young ones are going back in the old days. They used to set the stuff up themselves.
Yeah, they've got to be out of their mind. But, you know...
And we were.
Yeah, we were. You know, yeah, but, you know, a lot of bands back in the old days, they wouldn't do it any other way.
No.
You know, because that equipment is built for your sound.
Yep.
You know, and they really wanted their sound to be heard. They didn't want to go into this cheesy little place and play on Krakow frickin' 6x9 speakers, you know?
Oh, no. That was unheard of.
You know, and I've seen some bars that are like that. Well, we got our own system. Then you get there and they got these two little mini speakers up in the corner. Well, what the hell are you going to do with those? Well, that's the PA. The fuck it is. Back the truck up.
As soon as I flip this baby on, it's going to blow.
You know, yeah. And I tell you, they piss me off sometimes, you know, and I'm like, dude, you know, no, that's not a PA system, you know. You know, that's not what we use. Well, you know, you're not allowed to bring in your own equipment. You got another band to back us up then? Because, you know, I don't think we're going to be playing here. You know, and, yeah, I've turned on a couple that way.
Wow.
You know, because, you know, they don't know what a PA system is, you know.
Yeah. Well, at any gig, what can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. And if you start hooking up to
Murphy's
that,
law, and it sticks like glue.
Yeah. You know, if the PA system isn't any bigger than the speakers in the back of your car, it's probably going to be an issue.
Yeah, probably so.
You know, so you know.
Somebody setting it up on the shelf puts their fingers through the cone.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, in a place we used to set up in the drummer used to live in this little town called Hewitt, Minnesota, and we went up there, and the bar owner asked if we'd like to come in and play because we used to, you know, record down the road, and we said, yeah, sure, we'll do it. And the bar owner didn't know us, and we didn't know him, you know, and Dave says, well, you know, yeah, we'll go do that. So we get on there and we set up, and the wedding party shows up about 11 o'clock at night, and we knew we were already in trouble because everybody was wearing cowboy hats. And by 12:30, the next thing I know, I seen cowboy hats flying, and then the brawl broke out, and then they trashed the whole entire bar, destroyed everything up in the front of the bar and half the tables in the back of the friggin' place.
Oh, wow.
We got sued for $30,000.
Oh, my hell.
Because they moved the whole bar, got freaking shoved up against the back. You know, it got literally ripped off the floor and shoved up against the back, and thank God that Dave's dad was a woodworker because he went down there and rebuilt the whole bar. You know, but I tell you what, oh, man, I'll never forget it. Just one of those nights, you know, and we were just jumping into a Metallica tune when it all took off, you know. You know, because, you know, the last hour and a half, we're giving it our all, you know, and it just wasn't the place to do that.
Right.
You know, so needless to say, we never got hired there again.
Wow.
They wouldn't even let us in there for a drink after that. We had to go to the bar down the block, and then they were all leery about us, too.
They blackballed you.
Yeah, we went to the bar down the block, a block away. There's only 2 of them in this little teeny town, you know. That's about all there was left in this town was 2 bars.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I walk in the door, and they said, don't even ask us to play here.
They already knew.
Yeah, they already knew. Well, yeah.
The other bar called them and said you were on the way.
Yeah, we made the front page of the 2-page paper. Yeah,
hey, any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, even if it's only 2 pages with the whole city paper, you know, It doesn't really go anywhere, but yeah, we made good publicity, all right. We couldn't get booked nowhere. So, yeah, needless to say, we had to start booking in more other places, you know, that, you know, it's sometimes good to have bookers booking you too, but it's nice to know that you're getting into a bar that'll handle what you do. Yeah. You know, because sometimes being in the wrong place at the wrong time really doesn't work out too well.
No, it doesn't.
You can get some pretty ornery people, I'll tell you. Shit, you know, by the time that was all done, I was already in a van driving down the road by about 3:15. I had enough. I tell you what, you never seen a band pack up their shit so fast. I think it only took like 10 minutes. I mean, we weren't even unplugging cords.
The cymbals were still on the stand.
Pretty much, they were. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were, because we all had vans. Each one of us, there's 4 members of the band, and we all had vans.
Wow.
You know, so you just whip open the side door and you just throw the shit in there.
Yeah.
You know, and go, you know, because we figured we only had so much time, because as soon as this quiets down, the bar owner is going to come out from behind the counter, and we don't want to be talking to him.
Yeah.
We need to get out of here before this fight's over, dude.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty obvious you're not going to get your last call. Yeah. You know,
there's no last call.
Yeah, I tell you what, we had some real issues there. You know, that was probably the worst one, but you know, now you think back of it, it's just hilarious.
Oh yeah.
You know, but at the time it was, oh shit, you know, and then, you know, here comes the lawsuit and the lawyers and all, you know.
It's funny how time will change your perspective on certain things. Something you thought was so horrific years ago is just killing you today.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, when we do get together, we sit back and every now and again we talk about that, and we're just in tears, you know. Because we're laughing so freaking hard on the whole thing. But thank God his dad was a woodworker, though. That's all I can say.
You got lucky there.
Yeah, he had the material and everything. He built him a new bar and the whole bit, and
right on.
You know, and I think we got out of it for like $2,000 or something. We had to buy bar stools. I think we had to replace a few of those.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah, and all the busted booze bottles and whatnot. It was horrible, you know, and they've got, you know, I've got a video on the show too that is similar to that, you know, where this metal band goes into this, you know, country bar, and you know, and they're telling them to play, and then when they start up, it's just total metal. And everybody's out in the bar, you know, and they're all starting to, you know, yeah. It reminds me of it every time now that I go through the show. You know, it reminds me of, you know, I get a lot of remindings from a lot of these videos.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, certain things. Another good one too is you probably remember back in the city, back in the 70s, smoking in the boys' room.
Oh, actually, Black Sabbath, Peter Frampton, and Brownsville Station was my first concert. Well,
I tell you what, I'm going to send you Brownsville Station. They're back.
I know that.
Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
They're back. Yeah. And you know, the video that they've got out there will bring you back to that day.
Really?
Yeah, right back to the Volkswagens and the whole bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were so much fun.
Yeah, and they hooked back up again now.
Yeah, I did read that recently.
Yeah, and Still Smoking is the name of the album.
Nice.
Yeah, that they just released.
Still Smoking.
Still Smoking, yeah. So, and yeah, they're out there, and they're they're looking to do some touring and stuff too. So
cool.
So yeah, that was interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah, running into that, because it brings you back to that day.
Wow.
You know, and then, you know, the video that they built too, you know, that they've got brings you right straight back to that day.
Wow.
Because they kept pictures of things back in those days.
Right.
So, you know, they're making videos of that, and wow, what a reminder.
Wow.
Did we really dress like that? You know.
We didn't dress like that.
Yeah, did we really dress like that?
What's with those shoes?
Yeah, the shoes and the pants and the shirts and...
Are those angel flights?
Yeah, you know, you got to have the big bell bottom, you know. You know, and then, yeah, you know, and then I started thinking, geez, you know, Mom used to dress me like that. You know, it's just somehow times have changed, you know.
Right.
And you know, for a lot of the newer generation, they wouldn't even realize what that means.
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, and then and for me and you to go back and look at a video like that, it'll remind you of, it'll bring you back there.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. It was, out of all the videos that I've ever seen, that was one that was probably the most impacting.
Music will do that, though. I mean, I've always had like a soundtrack in my head for my life.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm going back through my memory.
Oh, yeah.
And
yep.
when you hear something like that, it will take you back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It's odd. Music is always evolving, yet you can be taken backwards as well.
Yeah. And mine's the same way, too. Most of my memories are revolved around a song that was being played at that time.
Uh-huh.
You know, so I can always hear the song in my head and I remember the scene.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, my brain works the same way like that. Not everybody's does that, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, not everybody's does that. Them are only music-oriented people that do that.
I kind of thought everybody's did it.
No, a lot of people just don't have anything for any kind of music at all. You know, they just don't. They don't have anything for any kind of music. They just,
Wow.
You know, their music isn't part of their life.
Wow.
You know, and I've met a few people like that too, that they don't listen to music. It's just like,
wow.
Really?
Music is such a big part of mine. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like everybody I meet is this, you know, maybe I look for that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the people are, you know, a lot of the people that we run into, those are those kind of people.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's what goes on with them. You know,
yeah.
Music seems to be stuck in their head 24/7. It's just the way it is.
I think it's ingrained in our DNA.
It could be. You know, it very might be.
I don't know either.
That would be MNA? Metal?
Huh?
Metal NA?
Oh, MNA.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just come up with a new one.
Yeah, what is DNA?
Yeah, it's MNA now.
Oh, man, I wish I knew I could bastardize it.
Yeah. I don't even know what it is.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know what you're saying. I know what DNA is, but, you know,
right.
I'm just adding another letter that fits more appropriate. Yeah, you know, and, you know, these guys are really good at it.
Right.
So that's great. So, you know.
Type M blood.
Oh, yeah. Is that, you know, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Gotta be. I don't know. Hell, if I had that answer, I'd be rich.
I know it. But even if you had the answer, somebody would steal it from you and take the money anyway.
Probably so.
Yeah, they always do. That's part of the great thing about being out here like this, is there's always somebody watching you.
Yeah.
Waiting for the next trick, you know?
Yeah.
I get that a lot. And that's a good thing. You know, and some people, you know, they get very, you know, they try to do it so sneaky like.
Yeah.
And then I catch them like, dude, it's okay for you to do that, man.
Really?
Well, I didn't know if you'd agree with it. Well, hey, man, it ain't got nothing to do with me, man. You know, you want to promote and do something, go for it. You know, it's not like I have any bearings on this shit anyway. you know, but,
Right.
you know, I mean, you know, I'm out here just doing that, you know. And, you know, that's what it's here. It's here for you to take and do it on your own.
For promotion.
Well, yeah, you know, or anything like that, you know, like, you know, I get some people that come in and they like to, you know, hit up all my bands, you know, and take them, you know, over to their shows and stuff. And I'm like, well, dude, you know, go for it. They're not my bands.
Right.
They're all individuals out there, and they're all doing the same thing. You're more than welcome to do whatever you want. So why don't you just spam on my page? You know, you might get better results than the way you're going at it. You know, I mean, I'm okay with that. You can put anything on any of my pages. You know, I'm okay with that. Let them know who you are and what you do, so they can come to you too. You know.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's an open book out here. You know.
Right.
You know, and that's what it's all about. You know. You know, because what good's it going to do if you hide all of your bands to your own little show? What good's it going to do for them?
It doesn't do anybody any good.
No, it doesn't. It's like a brick wall.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, and that I don't think is good judgment.
No.
You know, I think it should be wide open and shared by everyone.
Well, yeah. That's why the bands make the music, is for everyone.
Yes, they do. That's exactly
They don't make it for a private audience.
That's right. That's true. See, there you go. That speaks for itself right there. Now if we can get other people to think that way.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know. I think it's great.
It is.
I think it's great. Now, the name of the show that you're actually doing, what is the actual full name? And where can they find this at?
The show?
Yeah, the show, you know, like web addresses or you know.
Our radio is at Brutiful, BRUTIFUL, metal radio .crazy, 4 us.com.
Awesome. And that's the actual site?
Yes.
Okay, that's the actual site.
You can come in and chat it up. You can go read the forums, several pages with the interviews that Bobby does on there and the CD reviews that we do, and there's a lot to it.
Awesome. That's what they need to know.
Uh-huh.
Because that's what that's what this is all about, is to try to get, you know, everybody to know what's going on and where as much as we can.
Yeah, well, we hope, you know, that we can just, like you said, we try and have them maybe on our show and then hand them off to you, and hopefully the audience gets bigger for them.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. You know, so, you know, all the people that I have at the RocksMetalHour, you know, I'd like them to come over and spend some time with you guys. You know, I really would. I'd like them all to.
Well, thank you.
You know, as many as that would be willing to go for it.
I'd like ours to reciprocate and go hang with you.
Yeah, you know, because it's all going to be one happy family.
Fuck yeah.
You know, so, and I think that's, you know, that's awesome. I think it's very awesome that you're open like that, you know.
Yeah.
Really,
you have to be.
Yeah, I think that has to do with a little bit of respect for the music. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Respect for the musicians and the music itself.
The people who write the music. Much respect.
Yeah, very much respect.
I couldn't admire them anymore.
No, I really couldn't either. You know, I live in that world too.
Yeah.
And I wished I had something like this when I was playing.
I know, right? Man, but I thought I got into trouble back then. I would have been serious. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't.
I got in trouble all the time too, but it was fun.
No, actually, even though I came from Vegas, I wasn't drunk all the time. I kind of learned that I didn't like the liquor.
Yeah, I didn't. I could never do it. I mean, I could drink liquor, but I couldn't do it when I played.
Oh.
I was one of those.
Right.
I could do, well, anything else, but I could not drink. I could not drink. You know, alcohol and, you know, and the guitar playing and especially the vocals. 1/2 of a beer, I lose my vocals.
Really?
Yes, it has been that way my whole entire life. My dad used to call it the, what the heck did he used to call it? He used to call it, what the hell did he, I can't remember what he used for the explanation. It's been so many years now. It was just, that ran in the family.
Oh.
Except for my brother. I have one brother that is able to drink all night long and still be able to bellow it out.
Wow.
You know, but none of the other ones can. You know, I can't do it. You know, if I'm not singing.
They say people sing better when they're drunk.
Yeah, some people sing better when they're drunk, and some people it doesn't affect them at all on their singing abilities, but not me, man.
Not you, huh?
No, I fought that for years until I finally just gave up on even, you know, so then I don't even bother having a beer or anything until
see, I never did drink for years. I had a few binges with it. Some lasted a couple years, but...
Yeah. You know, but I think we all kind of...
I never was into it.
You know, I loved my drinking.
A lot of people do.
I got my ass beat many times. No, you know, I just it just never worked with the music.
Yeah.
You know, and then
for other options, you dig.
Yeah, you know, we usually always waited till afterwards before we started doing that. You know.
Everybody has their vice, you know.
Yeah, but you know, it kind of sucked because but then again, not really, because you know, if you do have a problem with alcohol, the last place you want to be is in a bar all the time. Oh,
I've seen alcohol tear people apart.
Oh yeah, me too.
And they just self-destructed right in front of me.
Yeah, I've seen it. We had a guitar player that used to work with us, and we used to take the early shows because by 11 o'clock he was down.
I think it's the worst legal drug out there.
I agree. Well, I don't know. There's a couple other drugs that'll send you farther over than that, but, you know.
Legal?
No.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the worst legal drug out there, the alcohol.
Yeah, the alcohol will put you on your knees, and then some. Yes, it will. I agree.
Yeah.
You know, out of all the stuff that's, that over the years that I've seen, alcohol was the worst contributor to everything.
Yeah.
You know.
And you can get it so easy. It's not like,
Right. Yep, exactly.
You can just go score at any time, and that's the backside of it.
Exactly. But
and that's why there's so many addicts of it.
Yes, there is. You know, and it is. I agree with you on that.
And it's sad.
Yeah, it is. When you see somebody fall apart like that, it is.
It really is.
And as well as I do when it comes into the music world. Well, back in our days, anyway, that there was always something like that in play.
It's been in play since.
Yeah.
Who knows when? They raised Prohibition in 1929.
Yeah.
And that's when it all started. I mean.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of stuff happen with that because that's the environment that we worked in.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff you just don't have an explanation for. I'm serious.
It's the alcohol.
Yeah, the alcohol. Just did that alcohol really make him do that? I mean, yeah, I've ran into that a lot. And now these days I don't drink hardly at all. Very seldom. I guess I must be getting older, but I sure did my share.
Oh.
So once in a while I'll go out and throw a good one on, but, here and there. Cool. So anything else you'd like to let the people know?
Come and say hi, man. We won't bite.
Yeah, there we go. That's a good one.
Or we won't bite too hard.
Yeah, that's a good one. Some of them are pretty shy.
There's no need to be.
No, there is no need to be. You know, and some of them are really shy. They don't, you know, they just get shy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't understand why that is. When you're, you know, I could see that when you're in a bar or something. You know,
a bar's not a place to be shy. Come on.
Well, no, it's not a place to be shy, but you know, towards 1 o'clock, you know, everybody's looking a little weird. And you know, and then there's
in Vegas, we didn't even start till 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I know it. You know, but up here, the bar times are 1 o'clock. Now they're 2 o'clock.
Ah.
You know, and that's usually about the time they start spitting on you and tripping over you and pulling on your clothes, and you know, they want your autograph.
Yeah, telling you how much they love you.
Yeah, telling you how much they love you, but they've never heard you before. Yep. And
I worry about those people getting home.
Yeah, you know, yeah, and then they all go piling out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, so, you know, and you sit back and you look at that and you think, wow, you know, I remember doing that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's still happening today, you know, and it can turn good or it can turn bad, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a 50-50 chance, man, and
yeah.
you know, it's not worth the risk.
No, it really isn't worth the risk anymore.
It'll either happen or it won't. I'm going to make sure it won't.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. I try to make sure that that never happens, but then, you know, every now and again, you know.
Right.
You know, I mean, you can't stay sitting in front of computers like this, like we do. You know, you've got to go find your sanity.
Oh, yeah, if you don't unplug from the computer once in a while, you know, you get, I don't know, I think it starts getting to you. But that's how gambling becomes an addiction.
Yeah.
Is through visual.
Yep.
So, you know, I mean, gambling is something you don't ingest, but they have to treat it the same as alcohol. You know, like a rehab thing. So, I don't know, maybe there's something to that whole visual thing, and we're addicted to our computers.
Yeah, I would think, well, there is such a thing as a computer addiction, you know.
Yeah.
And I like it.
I like it too, but if I don't spend some time away from it, I tend to go a little nuts. Yeah,
I do too. I've had one time this year that I just got up and walked away from it.
Really?
Oh yeah, I you know, I was doing, you know, the shows, you know, because I do all the shows manually.
Right.
So I've got to actually sit here and run it, you know, and doing that 3 days a week. You know, and then I brought it down to 1 day a week. And then finally I just, you know, you start to burn out after a while. Because, you know, you got the whole week of pre-planning, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you've got all the ads coming in. You've got to keep up with who's coming into play and who's, you know, whose videos are in, what video do they have, what, you know. And I got it, you know, a lot of the bands that come in, they don't ever help you with that. You know, they usually come in and say, hey, this is my band name, so check us out, you know. I mean, can you get us on the show? You can find us, and, you know, you can go over to YouTube, take a look, and then you go in there. And
to all those bands, I wish I could make the time to go do that.
Yeah, and I've got to do that for each and every one of them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, can't you just send me a link and say, hey, can you throw this on the show? You know, because then I could grab it right from that site and I could drop it right in the box, you know.
There you go.
And it's done. But no, I got to go in and I got to search, you know, and find out which one's going to work and which one's not. You know, and there's got to be some kind of an audio quality, you know.
Right. Right.
Because every now and again you get the guy that comes in and says, yeah, man, I've got 7 videos on there, man. You get there and it's from some chick with a cell phone.
Doesn't that slow it down, though?
No, it just, the music comes out like you're listening to an AM radio. It's not the best. You're not really hearing the band.
Gotcha.
You know it sounds better than that on the stage they're standing on, but the cell phone just totally gives you a misperception of what they really sound like. And, you know, I'd like, you know, when I put something out, I want people to hear what they sound like.
Right.
You know, I don't want to put out something that's really chintzy and just doesn't sound good.
Right.
You know? Because that'll leave a bad impression. You know?
Well, yeah.
You know, so I don't want to do that. You know, and I want to make sure that goes out as quality so people can actually hear that, you know, these guys are good.
Right.
You know, because I've even heard some of the bands that are really fantastic, but then coming through the cell phone, they sound like they just started playing yesterday. You know, and I can't use that.
They put such thumpy speakers in those phones.
Yeah, they need to do something like that, man. We need to develop a phone that can actually do, like, you know, recording, you know.
The Bose phone.
Yeah, the Bose phone with the...
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta call them and give them that idea.
Yeah, you should. The Bose phone that has, you know, electronical speakers or something that monitors the decibels.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And then you can actually put that right into your Cubase LE4 or whatever recording system you're using on your phone, and you can, you know, yeah. And then you can just do all your recordings that way. That'd probably kill the recording business, but I bet it can be done.
They have these two cool little gizmos that are about the size of a remote control or a universal remote.
Yeah.
It's got two little speakers at the end, and they both pan either right or left or totally center, you know. And you take that to a show, and it actually records in CD quality and allows you to burn it to CD.
Oh, do they really have that?
Yeah, you can get them at like guitar centers or so, stores like that.
Really? I didn't even know. I never bothered to look into that.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I guess I'm pretty stubborn that way. I figure if I don't take it out, if I don't take it out of the soundboard, I don't know if it's quality.
Wow.
You know, that's the kind of. I guess that's my old school. I still do everything old school when it comes to electronics.
Yeah.
You know, I'm wiring everything yet, and you know, doing all that and trying to get. Yeah, but that would be something maybe I should look into. Maybe that could save me some time.
Yeah, it's a real neat little gizmo.
I should really check that out.
You'd like it.
Yeah, I've been waiting for something like, you know, they don't even have my garage opener on my phone yet, so. You know.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I heard the iPhone comes out with something like that now.
Wow.
You know, that runs your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn off your lights and all that.
Yeah, like nobody thought of that 20 years ago.
Right.
You know, and now they, you know, it takes them so long to come up with these things they've known about for decades. You know, because they don't want to put everything out in one shot, you know.
Right.
You know, so that's, you know, technology. I'd like to hear one of those things.
Yeah.
I would like to hear one of those.
I'm trying to remember the name of the company. And just go surf a Guitar Center site in the audios. You'll find it. All
right, I will do that. Audio recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will do that because, you know, there's a lot of bands out there that would like to do that because they like, you know, they like to just spam, you know, little sections of their night.
Well, they would certainly get a better recording than their phone.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and that's just one of the pet peeves I have on it. You know, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if you really call it a pet peeve, but you know, we got to stay in some kind of quality. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little stubborn that way. I mean, once in a while, it's nice to go back and look at a video from somebody who's doing something off the wall, but.
I hear you.
You know, and then it's kind of fun to watch them if you're just watching the activity and not really paying attention to the audio. You know, because there are things that go on out there. You know.
Oh yeah.
they catch on video that you just sit back and just laugh at.
Uh-huh.
You know, because they're having fun. You know.
Right.
So there you go. Anything else you want to tell these guys?
Nope. I think I got it all.
You think we got it all?
I think so.
Awesome, man. Maybe we could wrap this up and let them fly.
Let's do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching the interview. And we will definitely get back to you guys here in the near future and keep you on the next update.
Thank you.
All right. Later.
Rock on, man.